Melinda. And as we can see on this, Melinda, we have her information where she works. Scoops Ice Cream, saw this one. She made $22,500 and she already prepaid. She had a tax withheld of $1,135. Now, when we look up the tax form, we are not going to look up for taxes $22,500. We need to look up, that's her gross income. Also, it's going to be equivalent to what's called her AGI, as we'll see. We're going to have to look up her taxable income, which means how much money after the standard deduction. Everybody here is just going to take the standard deduction. I'm going to show you. Social Security and taxes withheld for Social Security, Medicare, and state does not apply right now what we're doing. We're only doing the federal taxes. You never get Social Security back. You never get Medicare back. Okay, that money's gone. That money was withheld for your paycheck. You do not get that money back. So we're going to go and do Melinda. Now, what do you have to fill out? All right, so first off, I'm asking that you fill out just the person's name right here. If I don't highlight it, you don't have to fill it out, okay? So we're working on here for this example, so I'm gonna write, and you'll write for your example. This is Melinda Flowers. I guess S Flowers. Technically, you would fill in all the rest of the information, blah, 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 in there. She's filing single. One of the things I forgot to check, technically you should check the box that says no digital assets. Do you own crypto or NFTs and stuff like that that you sold for profit? It's like investments. We're just gonna put no. Nobody, there's no dependents, they don't have children, so we don't even have to fill in any of those other stuff, it's blank. Same thing, Social Security number, we would technically fill out. We do not have to fill it out on this one. I only want you, what's in yellow, put the person's name. Make sense? Next thing, notice that not all of the boxes have stuff in there. Now, 1A, you need to fill out 1A, which turns out to be this, and I'm going to explain why. 1Z and 11A. Those are only ones that are missing things, and that's because that's what you have to fill in. Now, what number goes in here? So it literally says, from your W-2, input the number from box 1. So box 1 is how much money you made. So Melinda made $22,500. Now, what other money did Melinda make? Did Melinda make any other type of money? No, and then all of them are going to be no. So all of these other questions, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F, 1G, 1H, all of that stuff is just asking, what other types of money did you make? What other sources of income did you have? All of those answers are no household employees. No, you didn't babysit for money. You didn't work a job and receive, you didn't work as a, yeah, so 0, 0, 0, 0, or you can just put dashes, which I have pre-filled in there for you. Then it says in this box, add up all the answers, add up all your sources of income. Oh, wait a minute, we only have one source of income. So what's going to go in 1Z? 22,500. Now comes the stuff that might not be taxed. All of this stuff is things that are taxed differently to other types of income. Tax exempt, tax interest, blah, 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 all of these different things. Oh, sorry, there's also, I missed one of the lines. Box 9. Nothing, 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 nothing. Okay, how much money, how much income do you have then? Add them all together again. Nothing, so it's 22,500. Adjustments from a Schedule 1. We don't have anything from a Schedule 1. That's kind of like a special thing that occurs for special incomes. That's like the taxes pieces. So 22,500. So for each of the ones, and here's the nice thing, because you only have one source of income, because you don't have any special type of income, and it's just a regular W, and it's the same number that will start us off of the next one. So this called your, in this case, your AGI is $22,500. That's called your adjustable gross income. This number becomes very important for you as a tax filer. If you're, for example, if you're using a new tax software, what they first thing they ask you, what was your AGI from last year? So it's very important to know your AGI. The nice thing about me, when I said I use TurboTax and I use the same software again, it remembers my AGI from the previous years because it's stored and it just pre-fills it in. So when I move to, for example, Free Tax USA, I need to go and find my AGI from my previous tax software and write that number over. It's how the federal government confirms you are you. That with your social security number. All right. 12, so you rewrite that number there. 12B is, what is the deduction? Are you taking the standard deduction or itemized? We're doing the standard deduction. So $15,750. Next year, that number will change. It goes up a little bit more, right? Last year, when we did this, it was $15,000. Now it's $15,750. The previous year, I think it was $14,400. All right. Are there any other special deductions that you can take? Do you have any qualified business incomes or additional tax? No. So I'm going to take $15,750. I just pre-filled that in. Subtract this number. So basically, we are now going to subtract. I'm going to put this. I'm going to circle this. You're going to subtract these numbers. So you're going to subtract the numbers to get me this. So 22,500 minus your AGI minus your standard deduction. So if I subtract 22,500 minus $15,750, I get what? $6,750. This is what is called our taxable income. This is the number that we have to look up on the tax form. So now, how much taxes do I have to pay? Okay, so how much taxes do I have to pay? Now notice I'm putting it as a different color because it's a different number. To find this number in red, I need to go back to this form and I need to look up 6,750, which is right there, which gives me $678. So how much does Melinda owe in taxes? She owes $678 in taxes. Now the question is going to say, what other types of taxes does she owe? Well, does she owe any other additional types of taxes? No. So we're going to copy down the same number. How much other taxes do I know? Same number. What about any self-employment taxes or tax credits? Nothing, same number. We have no special cases, so each of these numbers just becomes the same thing. 678, 678, 678. Okay. All right, that's how much. So Melinda is responsible to pay $678 to the federal government for her job. Does that make sense? But wait a minute, how much money did she already prepay? This is where we're going to look to our W-2. Okay? So our W-2, if we look at Melinda's W-2, how much did she already pay? Box 2. $1,135. So 1,000.
Wait, so if you do your taxes and you owe the government money, do they automatically take the money out?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that part. Let me get to that little one. We're like a couple of boxes away. Okay. Do you make any other money that reduces this amount or that adds to this amount? The answer is no, nothing special, no special cases. So one more time, and box 33, $1,135. Now, we got to ask ourselves, this is where it gets a little tricky, and you have to double check because we might be filling in here or here. We need to figure out which one it is. So, how much does she owe? How much was she supposed to pay in taxes? $678. How much did she pay? So will she get a refund or will she does she owe more money? She gets a refund. She gets a refund because this number is less. So now we're going to subtract. Now, if it wasn't the case, and in one of the cases, it's going to be the other way. We didn't pay enough. So for me, for example, my mother almost always, I don't get a refund for my federal taxes. I owe a little bit more, a couple hundred, I think this year I owed $700 more. If you owe or get a refund within like $1,000 plus $1,000 minus $1,000, you're doing your taxes. You're having a good amount of money withheld from your W-4. If you're getting a tax refund over $1,000 or you owe more than $1,000, you might want to check your W-4s and how tax withholdings is happening for you. That's too much money to be getting back. Because if you're getting a tax refund of over $1,000 every year, remember that's money that you could have used throughout the year. Money earlier on, money now is always more better than money later. Inflation, you could have used that money, that $1,000, let's say you're getting a tax refund of $3,000. And I know many people in our communities, back home, my mom used to get a tax refund of like $3,000. A lot of people get a lot because they have a lot of children and all these different things. So if that's the case, it's happening. That $3,000, you have to wait until March or April of 2026 to get that money back. You could have had that money back in 2025. And you could have been using that to pay your bills. You could have been using that to invest, right? All of these different things. So something to know. So we're going to get a tax refund. So if that's the case, and I fill in these two right here, but I might instead, it is possible that instead I might have owed. And if you owe, you take the difference and you put it in here. So me, technically my box 34 and 35, I don't put anything in here. I actually have to go to box 37. So if you owe more money, you need to put it in box 37 and then you need to send a payment. You need to actually, and it's working the same thing. When you do an e-file, they just ask you for your debit card. So you have to put in your checking account number. So you put in your checking account number, your routing number, and then they pull out the money that you owe once you file your taxes. You have until tax day to make that payment. So even if you file your taxes in February, you still have until April 15th to make that payment. Does that make sense? So you don't have to pay right away. So you can go online to pay if you e-file it. Like when I do it, my e-file it asks me, oh, I owe this much amount. How am I going to make my payment? Check banking account, routing number, and then it pulls out that money from my bank account the next day. But in this case, she's going to get a refund. How much money is she going to get a refund? The difference between box 24 and box 33, we subtracted 1,135 minus 678 is $457. Now here comes the dumb part. That's kind of dumb. How much of that money do you want back? Or give me all that money back. All right, technically right here. Why would you not want to take that money back? Some people like to say, well, you know what? Instead of giving that money back, put it towards next year's taxes. That's what box 36 says. How much do you want to next year's taxes? All right, so you can put that money. No, don't do that because money now is worth more than money later. Take that $457 and put it in your IRA, if anything, right? Let it gain some interest along the way. Pay off a credit card. Pay it towards a bill to have money in a year from now. Take that money now, and so that the interest. Now again, if it was the other way around, if I owed $1,135 and I only prepaid $678, then I would have put it into this 30 box 37 and I would put it in there, and that's where it went. And then you would do your, you would sign it off, all that stuff right there, and that's it. But again, I don't need you to do that. In this case, you need to figure out which of these boxes you need to fill in. Notice they have colors, but again, this is only in under that scenario. Actually, let me change this color right here because that color seems to be the. What other option colors do I have? I'll go lime green. And that's how you do your taxes. So now, if this was I didn't make you do Melinda, but on the actual homework assignment, if I don't have one for Melinda, down on the bottom on this one right here, for Melinda, which I don't have here, I should have just done it just again. Melinda is going to get a refund or owe taxes. She gets a refund, so I put refund, and then I put $475. So you'll do it for Marcus, you'll do it for Lucy. If some of you are going to do it digitally, you can. It's easier for me, if you upload it. If you're going to do, I just do it by paper. But I put this in here just kept it as there's an option that if you do it digitally, you upload it, put in the link so I can just view it really quickly. If not, just do it on the paper versions, turn them in, staple them together, hand them to me so I can staple them together afterwards and have your name written on the very, very top of one of them so I know it is yours. And that's how you do taxes. We just filled out Melinda's taxes. Now, of course, what are we missing? We're missing some verification information. They ask, there is some upfront social security number, driver's license, those type of things, AGI matchings that you have to do. But Melinda can now just plop this in the mail that we just did and mail it off. Computer software is doing the same thing. Instead of just mailing it off, it fills this in and then it sends it digitally to the IRS. And that's it. And that's your taxes. Most of you, this is how difficult your taxes will be. Of course, as you get older, as you get children, as you start your investment career, as you have secondary jobs, as you become a business owner, as you become a home owner, as you become, as you retire, you collect a pension, you collect Social Security. All of these things, every time you have all these different new things, taxes get more complicated. But in initial phases, it's quite easy. It's kind of like video games, right? Every single time something new achievement comes in your life, you have to add it to your taxes. Some of those things if we said nothing, zero does not apply, becomes, I do have to put in information. But when you do it like what a tax software, all you have to do is say, yes, that does apply to me. And then it's going to ask you the question, you fill it in, and you go through. Questions? You have the 15 minutes of class.